and Ehran, let me know when it's when we good. All right, so now let's go back. And let's get Deuteronomy 3 and 11.
Deuteronomy chapter 3, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
For only Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnant of giants. Behold, his bedstead was a bedstead of iron. It is not in Rabbah of the children of Ammon. 9 cubits was the length thereof, and 4 cubits was the breadth of it, after the cubit of a man.
Right. So now, when you're dealing with this, you're dealing when it says 9 cubits with the length thereof, meaning 13 and a half feet. That's how long 9 cubits is. So once again, you ain't dealing with something like 50, 100, some weird, outrageous numbers. It's saying that his bed that he actually laid in and went to sleep in was 13 and a half feet long. So him being a giant, he had to get a bigger bed. But he wasn't no crazy amount of feet. It said, look, his bed was 13 and a half feet long. So yeah, he was like 13 feet, things of that nature. 12 and a half feet. So read on. Oh, and then read on, yeah. 9 cubits with the length thereof, and 4 cubits the breadth of it, meaning the width. So that was 6 feet. 13 and a half length, 6 feet wide. That's how big it was. So now, read on.
After the cubit of a man.
So now, let's get Joshua 12 and 4.
The book of Joshua, chapter 12, verse 4. And the coast of Og, king of Bashan, which was of the remnant of the giants that dwelt at Ashtaroth and at Edrei, and reigned in Mount Hermon, and in Salcah, and in all Bashan, unto the border of the Geshurites and the Maccathites.
So that's all we needed. So now, where these came from? These came from the lineage of Ham. That's who these giants came from. They came from the lineage of Ham. When you deal with a lot of them, as far as the, even the ones, when you deal with, Goliath and all of them, a lot of them came from the Philistines. The Philistines, a lot of them came from Mitzrayim. They came from the Egyptians. That's who them. They came from the African lineage. That's where a lot of those giants came from. The people who was 9 feet tall, 8 feet tall, 12 feet tall, 13 feet tall. So now, let's go back to the book of Genesis, chapter 6. Let's get Genesis chapter 6, and let's read verse 4.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them.
When they bear children to them, give 1 Ezra 8 and 70. 1 Ezra chapter 8. Get the book of 1 Ezra chapter 8. And let's get actually verse 69 and then 70.
1 Ezra chapter 8, verse 6. In the
1 Ezra chapter 8, verse 69. Then 69. 70.
1 Ezra chapter 8, verse 69. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests.
So the nation of Israel, the sons of God, read, or the children of God, read.
The princes, the priests, and Levites have not put away from the strange people of the land.
The daughters of men, read.
Nor the pollutions of the Gentiles, to wit, of the Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, and the Moabites, Egyptians, and Edomites.
Read on.
For both they and their sons have married with their daughters.
That's what you're dealing with. They and their sons have married with their daughters, married the daughters of men. Read on.
And the holy seed is mixed with the strange people of
That's what you have. The holy seed, because your seed is holy. So you are holy. Read on.
Holy seed is mixed with the strange people of the land, and from the beginning of this matter.
And he said from the beginning, even as from the very beginning, read.
The rulers and the great men have been partakers of this iniquity.
It said, the rulers and the great men have been partakers of this iniquity. It was always a problem. whenever we did this. Get 1 Ezra 9 and 7.
First Ezra chapter 9, verse 7. So Ezra arose up and said unto them, Ye have transgressed the law in marrying strange wives.
You have what?
Ye have transgressed the law in marrying strange wives.
Exactly. Now go back to Genesis chapter 6. And let's read the rest of 4.
There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men.
So the same became mighty men. Get Genesis 10, 8 and 9. Genesis 10, 8 and 9.
Genesis chapter 10, verse 8. And Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
Began to be a mighty one in the earth. Go ahead and read.
He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel.
Babel meaning confusion, all right? Because now, when you deal with mighty, what are you dealing with? It says, you get in the Hebrew, H1368, meaning powerful, tyrant, or chief, all right? But you had some other people that were mighty. Get 1 Samuel 16, 18. Because some read that and see, well, see, it says he was just mighty. Had to have been giants. Had to have been just angels.
1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 18.
Read it.
Then answered one of the servants and said, Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, that is cunning in playing, and a mighty valiant man.
Of what, man?
A mighty valiant man.
So dealing with David. David was a mighty valiant man. But that doesn't mean he was some angelic being or due to some cause of angels and giant things of that nature. So now, from there, let's go back to Genesis chapter 6 and verse 4. You just go back where we left off with mighty men. Put the latter in and we'll finish that part out.
Which were of old men of renown.
So now, when it says with men of renown, what are we dealing with? Get Numbers 16 and 2. Numbers chapter 16 and verse 2.
Numbers chapter 16, verse 2. And they rose up before Moses, which certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly.
So a prince is a ruler. So he said 250 rulers of the assembly. Read.
Famous in the congregation.
That's what you're dealing with. Famous. These men were famous in the congregation. They were known. Read.
Men of renown.
When you get renown, you get H8034, meaning honor or authority or fame or just known, reputation. These were men of a reputation. They were known amongst the body. So now, let's go back. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
Because they became more wicked because they started to leave off from the law, statutes, and commandments. So that's what happened to us. Get Joshua chapter 23, 11 through 13. Get the book of Joshua.
Joshua chapter 23, verse 11.
Actually, first start with Joshua 23, 6 and 7.
Joshua chapter 23, verse 6. Be ye therefore very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, that ye turn not aside therefrom to the right hand or to the left.
Read on.
That ye come not among these nations, these that remain amongst you, neither make mention of the name of their gods, nor cause to swear by them, neither serve them, nor bow yourselves unto them.
Tell us that because that's what will happen. Now we're going to drop down and read verse 12 and 13.
Verse 12, else if ye do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations.
What started to happen with our earlier forefathers and foremothers. Read.
Even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them.
That's what we have been going in unto them and them coming in unto you. Making marriages. Read. Because that's what it is. Those marriages are consummated through sexual intercourse. Read on.
And go in unto them, and they to you. Know of a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you. But they shall be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good land which the Lord your God have given you.
And that's exactly what happened. So now go back to Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
Exactly. Anything that they wanted to do wickedly, they did. They gave themselves over to. Read on.
And it repented the Lord that he had made man on earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them.
So now, a situation where, because once again, like I said earlier, because some read, well, Deuteronomy, it says, well, the remnant of the giants, did some survive from there? No survived there. It just means that there were giants that came later on, that even though there were giants before that all died, there were still giants that later on came upon the face of the earth. How do we know that? Get the book of Genesis, chapter 7, verse 21 through 25.
Genesis chapter 7, verse 21, and all flesh died.
All who?
All flesh died.
That's it. All flesh died. Read.
That moved upon the earth.
That moved upon the earth. All flesh died that was upon the earth. Read.
Both of fowl and of cattle and of beast and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man.
And what?
And every man.
And every man. They all died. And there wasn't none of them clinging on to a mountain, clinging on to a boat, swimming for 40 days and 40 nights. You didn't have that. They all died. Read on.
All in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land, died.
Note that, because it didn't say everything in the ocean died. It's everything that was on dry land died. Okay, so all the big giant sea creatures, they lived. And they had children, because it's still sea creatures, and the Most High is still going to create more giant sea creatures to make sure Esau, when he think he could run and hide in the ocean, he said, nah, I got you. I got some stuff down there waiting for you, because you ain't been down to the depths of the ocean and know everything that's in the depths of the ocean. So you ain't barely seen that, because once again, I made things that they can get to you, but you can't get to them. They can slumber down in them deep, dark depths, but you can't, and those things, those creatures are much, much older. Even some he's creating new, and I'll get that another lesson, but he even said, I'm going to do something better. I ain't got to worry about just old creatures. I'm going to make new giant creatures. So now we ain't seeing how the Most High making them, but he says, I ain't even done creating them, but I'm going to make new giant creatures just to have fun, you know, because I want you to know this stuff is real. So he said a lot of stuff you're going to see. But continue on.
Verse 23, and every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth.
Read.
And Noah only remained alive.
Who?
And Noah only remained alive.
Read that one more time.
And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark.
So when it says only 8 persons survived, only 8 living human beings survived. Most High made sure to give enough time to where everything else is going to die. Let it all die. I made sure I gave enough time to where the one holding on is it dead yet? Nah, he ain't dead. Give it more time. He needs a few more. He dead? All right, he dead. We good. That's what he did. So now, read on.
And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days.
And we'll come back to that later. So now, let's go back. So now let's go back to Genesis chapter 6, and let's continue reading, and let's continue at verse 8.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 8. But Noah found grace in
Noah found grace. How did he find grace? Because grace was even then. You know, get Exodus 20 and 6. How did Noah find grace? No different than how we find, how we get grace now. Exodus 20 and 6. Grace was then. Exodus 20 and 6.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 6.
Let's see how you get grace. Read.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
That's how he got grace. He said he shows grace and mercy to those that keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. Read on. Go back to Genesis chapter 6 and verse 8.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord.
Read.
These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man.
Noah was just. How do you become just? Get Romans 7 and 12. How was he just? The same way you could be just. Well, which generally all you guys in here are just, generally. Unless you just been like hella slipping in wickedness, then here you just. Romans 7 and 12.
Romans chapter 7, verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy.
The law is holy. You keeping the law makes you holy. Read on.
And the commandment holy.
Commandment holy. Read.
And just and good.
And it is just and good. If you're keeping the law, that's what makes you a just man or woman. That is a just man over there. I could look about and say that's a just man. That's a good man. Because good defined as what? Defined through him keeping the laws. I could look at my elder, my pops, Karatas, I say that is a holy man right there. That's a good man. You can't do that out in the world. Oh, he's just a good man. Good according to what? What standard do you have to say this person is good, bad, evil? The law, that's what it is. Not through a bag of trail mix, but through completion. That's what it is. So now let's go back. Genesis chapter 6. Let's go ahead and read verse 9.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 9. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with God.
He was just and perfect. Perfect doesn't mean flawless. Because someone read, well, Noah got drunk. He didn't say it was flawless. It means he was complete unto the Most High. We be looking, well, ain't nobody perfect. Well, ain't nobody flawless. No. You ain't never going to find nobody flawless. That's what it's going to say. Ain't a just man that's saying not. You all going to make mistakes. But the thing is, it's different. A just man is going to control and fix his errors and repent. He ain't going to stay in it. He's going to always continue to get better. So because, and that's what people say, well, I'm only human. Well, the Most High knows you're subject to the flesh, but continue to, that's why he says endure to the end. You have to, it is an endurance, meaning what? It's not just something where, okay, I did it, it's done. No, it ain't just something I got here. No, you have to keep it here. You have to, ain't just something like, all right, you clean up and be like, all right, I cleaned it, I'm done. I ain't got to worry cleaning up no more. No, you got to maintain that house. You got to keep it clean. You can get it clean, but can you keep it clean? You can get a good credit score, but can you keep a good credit score? You got to maintain that stuff. Yeah. All right? So you got to maintain it. So now let's go back and let's get SIRACH 44 and 17. Get SIRACH. Ecclesiasticus. SIRACH 44 and 17. Okay. Oh, we're making good on time. SIRACH 44 and 17.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 44, verse 17. Noah was found perfect and righteous.
Noah was found what?
Noah was found perfect and righteous.
He was found perfect and righteous. He was found complete. All right? Complete edition. So, SIRACH, read that again, 44:17.
SIRACH chapter 44, verse 17. Noah was found perfect and righteous in a time of wrath. He was taken in exchange for the world. Therefore was he left as a remnant unto the earth when the flood came.
So now, how do you get perfect and right? Someone say, I want to be perfect. Do you really want to be perfect? That's a lot of work. To be complete is work, all right? Because become perfect and complete is to be righteous. Get Deuteronomy 6 and 25. This is how. And then we're going to get Matthew 5 and 48. How'd you get Matthew 5:48 first? Matthew 5:48. See, I'll be wanting stuff here and there. 'Cause like I said, I'm just reading straight from my Bible. I ain't got a PowerPoint today. I'm just reading the scripts. So, reading the scripts today. I ain't got nothing to show you. I just got everything to tell you. Get Matthew 5:48.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect.
Whoa! So look, Christ said, "Be ye therefore perfect." So when somebody say, "Well, ain't nobody perfect," no, you got to be perfect. He says, "Strive for perfection. Strive to be complete, according to the law." When you start keeping the law, you are complete. Read on.
Even as your Father, which is in heaven, is perfect.
He said, "Look, even as your Father, which is in heaven, is perfect. Be just like Him." Because the whole thing is, just like it said, just whether you want to deal with us as kids, we like to look up to our parents. Those are our heroes. I want to be like you, Mom. I want to be like you, Dad. The same thing. He said, look, be like your Father. He's perfect. You be perfect. So you can do it. Don't let people out in the world tell you can't. That'd be the one thing. They say everything is possible with God, and they tell you it's impossible to be perfect. It's impossible to keep the laws. Ain't that some foolery? They tell you, all is possible with God. You believe in the great spirit of hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, amen. Well, we got to strive to be perfect. So, ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. You can be perfect. So now, let's go ahead and get SIRACH 34:8. Get SIRACH 34:8. What's that other one I said to get before that?
Deuteronomy 6 and 25.
Yeah, we're going to get back to that after SIRACH. Get SIRACH 34:8.
Sirach chapter 34, verse 8. The law shall be found perfect without.
Woo! Wait, the what?
The law shall be found perfect without lies.
So the law is to be found perfect without lies. Read on.
And wisdom is perfection to a faithful mouth.
That's what it is. Wisdom is perfection to a faithful mouth. Wisdom. These scriptures are wisdom. It will get you perfect. It's going to get you right. Anything that you lack in, it's going to get you right. But it's not going to happen overnight. It's not. Repentance is a process. It's a continuance thing. It takes, yes, exactly. It is work. It's not something. Don't be discouraged because you ain't got it in a day, a week, a month, or a year. It takes it's like anyone you look at, like even world like class, like bodybuilders and stuff like that, they didn't get to that form in a day, a week, or a month, or a year. It was years. Like if you watch their progression, it was years of chiseling away to get to the results that they got to. Even same thing with athletes, to get their sprint speed to stay. It wasn't something they got in a month or a day or year. It took time, years, to where every year I was getting better. Even if you look at whatever, you can even look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like it took years to get to where he's at. He didn't get it like his first year or 2 years and be like, all right, I was here. Nah, it's like it took me like 5, 6, 7, 8 years like to get to that level of perfection that you're seeing, because you're chiseling away every single year, waxing closer to that perfection. So now let's go ahead and get, whoa, wind blew my page. Where was that? Oh, get 2 Timothy 3:17. We still come back to Deuteronomy. 2 Timothy 3:17. Look at 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 17.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 17, that the man of God.
Actually, so wait. Start verse 16.
Verse 16, all scripture is given by inspiration of God.
So all scripture, from cover to cover, is the inspired word of the Most High. All right? Remember, it was written by man, but inspired word by the Most High, because the Most High told man what to write. All right? Read on.
And is profitable.
Meaning it's good for, profited what is good for, read.
For doctrine.
For doctrine. Okay? Like what I'm teaching right now is a doctrine. I'm going over the sons of God and the angels, things of that nature, and yeah, all that, giants. That's a doctrine. Read on.
For reproof.
For reproof. Reproof is to prove again. Someone brings something, like they say, oh, angels brought forth these giants. Okay, let me reprove you. Okay? Let me use the scriptures to reprove you. So, read on.
For correction.
For correction. Someone is not doing something right, and they're doing the wrong thing. Well, how do you know it's wrong? Because the law says so. The law tells you what is wrong and why it's wrong, what you got to do right. Don't do this, do this. I'm correcting you on this, thus saith the Lord. Not just what it is I feel I want you to do. I can give you advice and say, hey, I would probably do this if I was you, but when I'm correcting, it's because the law says this. Read on.
For instruction in righteousness.
To how to be instructed on how to be righteous, that's what these scriptures are for, to teach you how to do the right thing and be righteous over time. Why? Read. Because now, see, this here is a colon. Now it's going to continue on what it is it was talking about. See, before in Genesis, that was semicolon. This is a colon, all right? Hey, I don't have a college degree, but I know that. You use a dictionary, and y'all figure it out. All right, here's the difference. All right, it's going to continue on that thought. Read on.
That the man of God may be perfect.
That you may be perfect. That's how you get perfect. Read.
Truly furnished unto all good works.
Truly furnished through all good works. Now, we're going to get two. We're going to get more because, once again, you can see this little subcategory. You can be perfect. You can put a little box, check mark, bubble, highlight, write it thick and bold. You can be perfect, okay? You're supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to be working toward perfection. Someone said, what's the standard? Standard Most High set up here. He said, reach it. Ooh, that's kind of high. He said, it's all right. Get a boosty. Reach it. So now, get 2 Corinthians 13:11, and then we'll get to Psalms 19:7. 2 Corinthians 13:11, and then Psalms 19:7. 2 Corinthians 13:11. I can let some of them tabs go. 2 Corinthians 13:11.
2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. Finally,
you know what? Start 5 and then 6, and then we're going to read 11.
2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves.
So it's always through an examining method, all right? Chipping away. Read on.
Know ye not your own selves, how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobates?
Except you be reprobate, meaning someone who just trying to be wicked, that Christ is in you. Whether it be a little bit or a lot, he's in you. Just keep growing them. Read them.
But I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates.
We're not reprobates, man. People in here, we all trying to do the right thing. You may be strong in certain areas, someone else be weak in certain areas, but we all trying. All right, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Read verse 11.
Verse 11. Finally, brethren, farewell. Be perfect.
Be what?
Be perfect.
Be what?
Be perfect.
So once again, be perfect. Read on.
Be of good comfort. Be of one mind. Live in peace. And the God of love and peace shall be with you.
Okay. Let me get the other one I asked for. Psalm 19:7. So this just little, be perfect. Be that son and daughter of the Most High, like he wants you to be, and not that child of man. So, I'm in Proverbs 19, Psalms 19:11. Make sure I don't go over with time.
Psalms chapter 19, verse 11. Moreover, by them is thy servant warned, and in keeping of them.
Let's see where I'm at. I messed that up. Oh, nope. Psalm 19:7.
Psalms chapter 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
So the law of the Lord is perfect. It's complete, and it's going, as you keep it, it is going to convert the soul. It changes you inwardly to outwardly, making you a new person, still yourself, but the righteous edition. You know, you ever watch everything, you watch the candy bar, they got, the gold edition, it's going to be you, but it's two versions. You got the worldly edition, the righteous edition. It said you the new one that just came out, platinum, looking good, gold. It said that's what the Most High wants for you. You got to be the righteous edition of yourself, not the wicked version. All right, let's go back to Genesis chapter 6. Boy, I'm doing better. I got burnt out and I fell asleep, man. On the computer, I started drifting. So I messed around, man, and I said, girls, get daddy, let daddy take a little nap. And they said, daddy, we hungry. And I was like, man, I slept 2 hours. I didn't even feed them lunch. I said, damn. I said, let me get up, but I got some rest. So, but they still ate. They had spaghetti. They all right. So now, let's get Genesis chapter 6. All right. Go ahead, Genesis chapter 6. And, oh, I'm sorry, Deuteronomy. Man, Deuteronomy 6 and 25. I'm sorry. We was holding that. He said, when you going to get Deuteronomy? I'm sorry, I forgot. Deuteronomy 6 and 25.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 25, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments.
See, that's the thing. If. We talk about if. If is a big thing. Once again, bring out my handy-dandy dictionary. It says, it shall be our righteousness if. What does if mean? Let's look it up. If means in case that, granting or supposing that, on the condition that, even though, so whether or not, a uncertain possibility, a condition, a stipulation, so now it shall be our righteousness if, read on.
We observe to do all these commandments.
Some of these commandments.
All these commandments.
Just the ones we like.
All these commandments.
Just the one my pastor talk about.
All these commandments.
All these commandments, read.
Before the Lord our God, as he had commanded us.
As he hath commanded us. Okay? That's how you do it. And then when I find, we'll get 1 John 3 and 7. Someone said, well, you still keep the law. That don't mean you holy. It said the law was holy, not you. Well, Deuteronomy 7:6 says that for thou art a holy people, so we're holy anyway by default. But Most High says y'all tainted. Get back to what I waged you to be. Get 1 John 3:7.
1 John chapter 3, verse 7, little children, let no man deceive you.
He said, look, I'm telling y'all, children, don't let no man deceive you, because it's always going to be a person, human being, man or woman. Read on.
He that doth righteousness is righteous.
Exactly. If you do righteousness, if you keep the law, then you are righteous. You are what you're doing. Just like if you break the law, you do wickedly, you are wicked. Just like you do righteously, you're righteous. That all that?
No.
Read on.
Even as he is righteous.
Even as he, being the Most High and also being Christ, are righteous. So read verse 10.
Verse 10, in this the children of God are manifest.
Another precept, in this, these are the children of God. These are the sons of God. This is how you know that they're manifest. Read on.
And the children of the devil.
And the children of the devil, and the sons of men, the daughters of men. Read.
Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God.
There you go. Jiminy Crickets. There you go. Whoever does not righteousness is not of God. Read on.
Neither he that loveth not his brother.
Exactly. And he that does righteousness is of God. So now, let's go back to Genesis chapter 6. Genesis chapter 6, verse 9. Read it one more time.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 9. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with God. Mm-hmm. And Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Now, he walked with God because he kept the laws. Let's go get Genesis chapter 5, verse 22. Then we'll get to 1 Kings 8 and 61. That's when they did what Enoch was taken up, because Enoch like perfected in his, few hundred years that he was on earth. He perfected what it meant. Like, it's like you ever get to the person that is like real good in the class and they get elevated to like the next level. It's like that's what Enoch did. He knew, oh, I get what the Most High wants us to do. All right, I'm gonna do it. Most High said, golly, you good. Just come up here. You passed the test. Because like you said, all this is a test. It's just a test to get us back in the kingdom. He said, golly, you pay great attention. You got the A++. Just come up here with me. Rest of y'all keep trying to get right, because y'all ain't realized it ain't about you. He realized, like, it finally clicked. I know what the Most High want me to do, and I'm going to do it. So same thing happened with Elisha. Elisha finally got it. Like, snap. Like, I finally get it. Israel, our people are hard-headed. We still trying to get it. So go ahead and read that in Genesis chapter 6. And read Genesis chapter 5, 21 through 22.
Genesis chapter 5, verse 21. And Enoch lived 60 and 5 years and begot Methuselah.
So when Enoch was 65 years old, he had Methuselah. Read on.
And Enoch walked with God after he begot Methuselah 300 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of
So after he begot Methuselah, that 300 years, he had more sons and daughters. Read.
And all the days of Enoch were 365 years.
So when he lived in that lifetime on this earth, 365 years. And then what?
And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him.
For God took him, meaning, Moses said, look, in your 365 years, you got it right than what a lot of these other people got in double your lifespan. So 600, 700, 890 years, you got it. I'm taking you with me. But get 1 Kings 8:61. He walked with God, meaning he kept the Most High's laws.
1 Kings chapter 8.
And like a great level of excellency. 1 Kings 8:61.
1 Kings chapter 8, verse 61, that all the people of the earth may know that the Lord is God and that there is none else. Let your heart, therefore, be perfect with the Lord your God, to walk in his statutes and to keep his commandments as at this day.
So that's what you're dealing with. When you're walking with God, you're walking in his laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what it means to walk with him. You're on his path that he laid out, which is a path of righteousness. All right? So now, let's go ahead and go back. And let's go ahead and let's get Genesis chapter 6, and let's read verse 11.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 11, the earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth.
Because they became corrupt due to sin. Read on.
And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for this earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth.
Now, when he says the earth, he means just the surface of it. That known world at that point in time, not the planet, not planet Earth. He didn't mean that. Because the planet he established forever. But when he says, I'm going to destroy Earth, I'm going to destroy like Earth as we know it. Living on top, things of that nature. That's what he means. Get Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. Doesn't mean I'm going to blow the planet up and make a new planet. Nope. He made Earth forever. Refresh it. Yeah, you passing the mic. You asked to go ahead.
Yeah, I always wondered that when I was young. I thought he was going to destroy everything, but I thought, like, why would he destroy something he created to be everlasting?
Exactly. He's going to
just
destroy
like
it, but
soul,
not the way we think.
just like our souls, our spirits, they're everlasting. So
exactly.
once he created it, it's always going to live.
Exactly. It's always there. He just has to put it in a different state.
Yeah.
So those who's right, you get an immortal body that is good. Those who's wrong, you're going to suffer for immortality. So that's the way he made our spirits. So non-perishable. So beautiful. I'm going to get that for you too. Let's get, actually first, read that, what I told you to get. Ecclesiastes 1 and 4, and then we're going to get 2 Peter.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 4, one generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever.
So see that? He said, generations come and go, yet things happen, but the earth itself abideth forever. He made that forever. Now get 2 Peter 3, because this is part of the destruction that's going to come upon the earth, but the earth he made forever. Get 2 Peter chapter 3, and read verse 9 through 11.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness.
So the Most High is coming back. He ain't slack, as some people think. Where he at? Read on.
But is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance.
So the Most High don't want you to die. He just wants you to get right. Read on.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise.
But it's going to come a thief in the night for most people, because most people ain't paying attention. But for us, it ain't going to come as a thief in the night, because we're children of the day, not of the night. We paying attention. Get that in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Hold that, though. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. We're just getting it real quick. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, 5 through 7. We're supposed to be children of the light, children of the day, not children of the night, that we sleep. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, and start verse 4 through 7.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief.
So that's the understanding. Dang it. You know what? Start verse 2. Sorry.
Verse 2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
So you always hear the day of the Lord coming as a thief in the night. Just like the flood did. That's vengeance. Because what were they doing in the days of Noah? Partying, getting drunk, having orgies, all sorts of sexual intercourse. But once again, the day of the Lord came upon them as a thief in the night. Did it get Noah like that? Nope. Because he was righteous. He was paying attention. But they weren't paying attention because why? They was in wickedness. Righteousness is how you're going to be alert. Wickedness is how you're going to get caught sleeping. Read on.
For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
Because they think everything good. Hey, shouldn't we be getting right? Man, don't worry about it. God was coming, he would have been came. YOLO. Read on.
As travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief.
Because we aren't in darkness. We shouldn't get caught slipping. That the day should overtake us as a thief in the night. Read on.
Ye are the children of the light.
We are children of the light. Meaning what? Let me get a precept. Get Proverbs. Hold that. I know I got you a lot, but precept explain the next precept. The book of Proverbs. Ooh, what do I want? Get Proverbs chapter 6. I think that's what I want. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23.
Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp.
What is a lamp? It is light and it is a guide. Read.
For the commandment is a lamp and the law is light.
That is that light. The law is that light. That is that light. Just like you sing in church. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, that's your song, huh? We didn't know what we were singing before. We were supposed to be, this law of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. We're supposed to be keeping this law. That's what it is. Read on.
And reproof of instruction are the way of life.
Okay, let that go. Let's go back to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, and then we're gonna go back to what we were in 2 Peter. Read on.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 5. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness.
Read verse 6.
Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober.
Exactly. Because once again, read on.
For that they sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. Mm-hmm. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet, the hope of salvation. Okay,
so that's all of that, but just want to get an example of, once again, they shouldn't catch us off guard as a thief in the night. Even Christ said, if y'all knew what time the thief was coming, what kind of person with any sort of sense is going, someone tell you, give you the heads up, hey, someone coming to rob you tonight, better watch out, Big Tony coming, you'll be, all right, and you're going to just sleep on it. Common sense would tell you, Big Tony coming, I'm going to be up, I'm going to be ready. You know, I'm going to be ready. Shoot, come in if you want to. You're going to be up. Most of us are the same thing. You better be up watching. But time of Noah, they were sleeping. And even now, people sleeping to where they're not keeping up with the prophecies. They're not keeping up with the times to know, all right, if this, and this already happened, that means only this, and this is left to happen. We about right here. It's pretty close. We ain't got much longer left. It's like our generation or our kids' generation. It ain't making it to kids. They ain't making that line. It's us or them. That's it. We right there. So now, let's go back to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. sorry. I know I got you holding everything. I'll be using my pinkies and everything else to hold everything in place.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
So now, going back to what you were saying, Peasy. So now dealing with it, so once again, day of the Lord comes as a thief in the night, but that's just in general for the world, not for us, because we woke. We not asleep, right? Right? Yeah, we woke. All right, so now, let's continue.
The earth also and the works that are therein shall burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are ye to be in all holy conversation and goodliness?
So now,
godliness.
So now, all of it that we see upon the surface, all that's going to be burnt up. The elements shall melt. We know the elements: earth, fire, water, air. Meaning, you're not going to be able to stay in this environmental zone. That's where the rapture comes, which is temporary, to get us out of this environment so we don't die. Because the Most High says, I'm bringing all this destruction, tornadoes, earthquakes, hurricanes, pestilences. But that ain't even the end of it. I still got more to bring. And the final sweep, and when he finally just burns it all to hell because he has to refresh everything, he said, nah, y'all done tainted the whole earth. I got to put an extreme heat wave on everything to melt everything, to dissolve it. Because he says, y'all done wasted my oceans, my everything else. I got to completely revamp the earth. So he said, I got to revamp this whole thing because y'all done messed up my creation. I'll think about how man did mess up something the Most High done made. Like you didn't destroy the earth. How you destroy the whole earth? Where the Most High got to refresh it. That's sad. So, exactly, through transgressing the law. And Esau just running them up. Nevertheless, elements shall melt. And, it ain't going to be pretty. But, ain't nobody wicked surviving that. So, no matter where they hiding. Hide if you want to. Now, let's go back to Genesis. Wrap this up. Yep, wrap it up. 7 minutes. Genesis chapter 6. So we see, I will destroy them with the earth, but not the whole earth, just the earth as we know it, surface world, not the planet. Let's read on verse 14.
Verse 14, make thee an ark of gopher wood, rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make of it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die.
So now he says, I, even I, because many people say, well, why would God do that? That's the devil. He said, nope, it's me. Even I, even Most High God, I do. I'm going to bring a flood and destroy the earth. So in all flesh. Read on.
But with thee will I establish my covenant.
That's the beginning of his covenant. He said, but with Noah, with you, I'm making my covenant of what it is I am and I'm not going to do. Which later passed down. He chose Abraham, then Isaac, and Jacob to specify this covenant that he's passing down. Read on.
And thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female.
To reproduce. All right, read on.
Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive.
Right, because all you need was 2 after their kind, all right? So, because once again, no such thing as a macro evolution, but microevolution does exist. That's what the Most High made. Microevolution is species variation. You didn't have to bring every single species. You just needed the kind of animal. I don't need to bring the Rottweiler, the Pit Bull, the Chihuahua. Just bring one of them. The rest of them will come along after that. That's species. You'll get the other species. Just bring the 2 Pit Bull. You'll get the rest of them again. So that's what he did with everything. You ain't need all the different types of. You don't need the grizzly bear, the polar bear, the brown bear, the black bear. Just bring to the black bear. That's all you need. The rest of them, they'll come back later. Don't worry about it. So you'll get it. That's all he did. Read on.
Verse 21, and take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them.
Exactly, because he had to bring, look, you may bring other animal stuff, but that's food for these animals, but make sure you keep these animals alive. So don't give all the gazelles to the lion, and then you ain't got no gazelles left. Make sure you keep at least 2 of them. But make sure you bring food for that lion, too, and them other bears and other stuff. Like, make sure you bring their food for them. Read on.
Thus did Noah, according to all that God commanded him, so did he.
And read on, part of Genesis chapter 7.
Genesis chapter 7, verse 1, and the Lord said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation.
That's what he's saying. Thee have I seen righteous. When I look, most I was going to look. Is there anybody righteous out there? Going once? Going twice? Millions of people? Anybody? We got a family. We got a family. We got a family. And that one. Okay, we got one. All right, good. We got a few. All right, it's 8 of y'all. That's good enough. Cool. All right, we straight. We got some people. But it's millions of people on the face of the earth. Not really. Not if they ain't right. That's millions of trash for the garbage. But we got people. We got 8 people right here. The rest of that is I'm destroying. But I'm going to save this right here. That's gold. That's trash. We're going to roll with the gold, all right? That's how the Most High is. I scrap it. I'll start over, all right? I'll catch y'all in the regeneration. Y'all can make up for it later and hopefully hit that reset button and we all going to get it right. But nevertheless, man, that's Genesis chapter 6. Apologize for the late start. But hopefully you guys learned something, got something out of it. So, like I said.